Buddha.
What's going on? So, mighty good time we have to experience in the markets as of right now. So far the dollar has been doing this thing. It's way up there. The markets there. Basically, we are at an inflection point, and it's pretty serious. Not like even if you don't agree with my takes on the markets, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. What I have to say to that is, if you are bullish, if you feel like these markets are going up, right now resting on this, we're below it. But if you feel like Friday's close put us below it, we opened up this week, this Sunday early trading, and we tested it, and I feel like we're going down. But if you feel like the markets are going up, this is exactly where it needs to happen. You don't have much longer. If we don't get above, what is this, 13K on the Nasdaq, well, our next stop is, my target, 11K. You see that right over there, right here, 11.5. That's where, and I feel like it's a mighty good chance, when this line breaks, that we just go straight there this week. This week is gonna be one hell of a week to trade. It's time to, today, if you're watching this Sunday, May 1st, you need to have your resolve set in so that Monday it's no questions about which way you want to trade. You're either bullish and you feel like this whole thing in the dollar is hocus pocus and it doesn't mean anything and it's about the retrace, which it could. Now I'll lay the groundworks when I get into the dollar. It could retrace. And I'll lay the, I'll play devil's advocate on that. I could show a good cause for how it'll retrace. Um, so it's either going to retrace and the markets can go up, or it's going to continue higher and we're about to continue this sell off. But regardless, we are at a pretty decent inflection point. Getting in right now, either way, has about the same risk reward as far as going long. It's if you're not already in a short, it's difficult to short. And if you have set through this and you have some money and you're bullish the markets and you felt like now was, it was a good buying time, this is a good buying time, because if we break too much lower, to immediately get out. So like, just risk analysis, you know, risk reward. This is a good time to buy. It's also a good time, to short. The best time would have been up top. But on a weekly time frame, I see us putting in a nice, massive red weekly. Um, Let me get into the dollar because that's where I like to start. And um, as far as why I feel like the dollar can go down and the markets can go up, let me go. I have another. Let me just load it up real quick. I have other chart metrics and stuff I look at. I think it's on here. This is the Nasdaq. Let's get to the dollar. I try to make one just for the videos. That way it don't have all these trend lines confused. You know, Even though, and I do appreciate it, but I do notice that there are six people currently that, I've seen on the last few videos. They get six views. So either there's one person viewing it a lot or there's six people viewing it, which I appreciate. Like and subscribe. That goes a long way, as I'm trying to grow this thing. But getting into, The dollar, so the dollar, this trend line right here, this is the one that I speak of. Now, we're outside of it. We came outside of it with Friday's trading, and we're basing around right there. And if this dollar, does not immediately start getting back above there, and that's going to be a strong push. And the fact that it'll take that strong push is exactly why I feel like it's going to be a massive candle. But us, going down here, retracing in a dollar would mean that pretty much that the Nasdaq and all the equities would have room to breathe, room to grow, room to rally. I don't feel like that's the case. I told you I laid out my thesis a long time ago. I feel like the dollar's getting up here to 107 area. Regardless, the dollar, if you just want it to be strictly objective, we could see a sell off in the dollar where it finds support and then continue higher. So I am weighing that heavily, and that is why when I look at this NASDAQ chart, I say that let me take off my trend lines for a second. That when you look at that daily chart, or was that the weekly, that this area right here below this MA that I have here is key to me. If we start getting above that MA, and it don't take much to say it's above it. Like if Monday's trading come out, we're up here and it's looking bullish, then immediately I'm closing all my shorts and I'm waiting on to get a short higher, right? That said, I did go ahead and you can't see it. I look at I'm gonna go ahead and shrink my charts back down. I blew it up for the video, but I usually look at my charts where I could get more content in on the screen at the same time. But I have a black MA. It's not that big and bolsterous, but there is a black MA. I mean not MA, but a trend line I have right here. So that when I'm on lower time frames, I could see it. We tested it already this week. When I say this week, I mean Sunday today. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Yeah, and by testing it, I mean like as long as it stays below the Nasdaq, um, you know, and the dollar stays above and the dollar starts making up, you know, looking bullish, then I think this sell off can continue. And like I say, my target is on the Nasdaq. On the dollar it's like 106, 107, but on the Nasdaq we're looking at the 1100 area. Um, and I feel like that's about to happen like very soon, all the way down to 800, anywhere between 15 and 8. So, yeah, we've had a pretty, it's been pretty easy, pretty much easy money if you follow the videos and looked at the rationale behind why I say it's gonna sell off. It was all based on the dollar. My euro trading, it's been tanking with the dollar rally, the Nasdaq as well. Not much has really changed since my assessment 7 days ago last weekend. I still feel the same. Bitcoin, it's broke down. I think it got to a low of 37K. And that was recently. That was a little bit before the video came out. Last night, late last night, early, yeah, late last night, and it looks, it looks decent, but we still have these crossovers, and we have one that's imminent on the 1 hour chart, and I could spend time and show you all of them as they occur. We can go up each time frame. 1 minute, midterm, we could have a pop that is pretty bullish on a 1 minute chart, small time frames. um 5 minute, that there then, so it don't take long before you start seeing the crossovers. We got some resistance right there. You get to the 15-minute time frame, you getting your crossovers coming. So it's setting up for next week. You got your yellow over white, you got your yellow over red right there. It's like a lot of sell side pressure on Bitcoin, on crypto in general. Sell side pressure, imminent sell side pressure. It's mounting. All these MAs are rolling over. You know, this has went bullish as it crossed there. We've already, so it's about to bring these down. That sell side pressure. You got this white over red. That's gonna be significant sell side pressure going up into the 4 hour. This right here will be massive. So they're both trending down, both of these trend lines. for this, and I don't like to go into the hypotheticals, but should yellow ever cross over red, like that would put Bitcoin way down here. It would, and I feel like it's going there. We're looking at 15 Bitcoin minimum, is in my opinion. Um, I'd have to take this off a log scale to look at it. Yeah, imminent sell side pressure on the 6 hour chart with the smaller time frame MAs rolling over as well. In the next 48 hours, we'd be looking at 28K. I'd keep that in mind that if you have crypto, now it's time to slack up on some of that exposure. Now we get into the 12-hour Bitcoin and it looks bullish. Like, it looks like we could come down here and test 36K. And if it doesn't break, we got some nice upside momentum on these trend, except for this. There's a crossover way back here. So this is long time destabilization and momentum. And off of that, we had this rally to new highs, but it did not repair the moving averages even after that rally. If we start coming down here to, like I say, 28K on the last one, 26 here, and get anywhere below there, like we're right there at 15K over there. If you look at the prices over there, white line 15K. So, I feel like the charts are broken and it's all based on this dollar. And you say, well, what does the moving averages on the dollar look like? On the 12 hour, that's strong bullish momentum. Even if we retrace, down to these trend lines, like I say, we can have a retrace on the dollar, and we could get, like, not that far down. Where was it? Yeah, we could come down here and the dollar still be bullish. That would just be a slight pullback, even though it would set the markets up to rally. And I just don't see that bullish sentiment in the markets. I mean, I talked about a few stocks, individual assets, and I remember calling out individual assets, and I was talking about Amazon and how it looked, and where it's support and resistance. I think it was the daily chart when I mentioned this crossover, and they report earnings and immediately. Like if you would have just bought on the technicals alone, bought those puts, sold it short, on last weekend. When was last weekend? If I look at my calendar, that would have been the 24th. So on the 24th of April, when I made my last video, right here, the 25th is the trade, and you were in for, and I think I said it is going straight to 19K with a nice size gap. And um these trend lines that I set up, it's no joke. They really work. So that's a 30% journey that we're on the way to right there. And it was all, I wasn't looking to earn into the quarter numbers or none of that, even though I know they exist. And I wasn't looking at any. I was just strictly technical. I saw that crossover. It was sell side time, right? Boom, 30% could have been made right there. What else did I talk about? I think I mentioned Tesla, and it. I had a little take on it. Where is Tesla? Right there. Let's get rid of my trend lines because I don't know that I use trend. Oh, I did use trend lines on Tesla. I had a nice where was it? It was probably on a weekly chart. I was probably looking at it on a higher time frame. I don't know, but I had a parabola over here at one time, and I remember saying that Tesla, it was gonna fall out of here, and that maybe it was because it was on log scale. There it is. I need to switch back to log scale. All right, but yeah, there's the parabola right there, and Tesla was above it, and I was like, watch out for Tesla because it looks weak, and oh yeah, as it approaches this blue line up in here, you know, it should just base around off up in there. Maybe it was on the daily chart. Was it on the daily chart? Yeah, there it goes. It was based on that white line. And so this is the line I drew last week, right? Letting you know that we should be looking for Tesla to find support around the 600 and for it to stay channel bound until, what is this, mid 2023. Sure enough, we're breaking down inside of this parabola. We broke down inside this MA, and we should bounce around right here. Whatever news Elon Musk is saying he's doing, these technicals are driving these crossovers. If we break below this, then you're looking at not Tesla on sub $200. That's a 80% decrease. Now I'm bearish the markets, and that could very well happen. But if you see $200 Tesla, you buy it hand over fist. If you ever wanted something that would dip and then rally hard, you get that $200. You sell a mortgage, you sell a farm, you do everything, and you buy that Tesla if you see it break this. But the medium case, not worst case, not best case, is Tesla just bounce around for a year and a half, and then you buy it. But if you see it $200 or below, I don't care. You buy it. Tesla has a history. It does have a history of some nice pullback buys. But I just that's that. But yeah, that could happen. I much that could happen. What else was another one I spoke of? Exxon Mobil. We talked about energy a little bit. Um, Exxon Mobil, I mentioned, I can't remember what I said, but if I just read this chart now, I remember. That was when I drew this trend line right here. It had broke down immediately. Nice gap down buy. We come up to that same trend line that I drew, what, 2 weeks ago, and we found it as resistance. Um, if we're not going to get above that line, you're going to get this red over white cross. You're going to start seeing some sell side pressure and energy, and you'll be looking at, some $65 Exxon. This could be a high base. You want to immediately buy Exxon and energy if you see $890 or higher on Exxon. But as of right now, Friday, when it touched that, those are all good short ups. So, and that's how I trade. I think I mentioned that earlier. I feel like you will see the tea leaves and the charts long before you hear about it in the news. And with that being said, the way the dollar is now, granted, you do, as of Sunday's trading, the dollar is trading green, but it's not enough for it to go up. It needs to go up massively if it wants to gain this parabola and continue this parabolic move up. It needs to regain this parabola and continue to find it as support on up here. So that would mean that going into the morning trading, Monday morning trading, I would expect for the markets to go ahead and be deep in the red as this dollar rallies, or it's going to be deep in the green if the dollar falls. But I'm in the bearish camp overall, so that means I'm bullish on the dollar, and I think that's what we should be expecting. I see it, and like I say, I went through individual stocks. I see it in the dollar itself. It's the dollar itself, with it breaking outside of that parabolic trend support line, yeah. But when you look at the Nasdaq and you look at the levels that get rid of all this clutter on the chart, when you look at where it is and what happened to it on the daily chart on Friday, being below this white line that we've been looking at for a while. That's the line. This white line is the line where I close my shorts, right? Like I've been short since up here. So even closing right here, even though I would lose some, I would still be in profit overall because this is when, I just said, hey, I was short, matter of fact, since November, but I got greedy. I got, I ain't gonna lie, I got wiped out right here on this up move because I expected us to keep going down. But I reshorted like right up in here, and I've been short. So, now just, risk management. If we broke above that white line, I'd be, I'd be okay. I'd still be in profit, not as much profit, but I'm holding for 11K Nasdaq. I'm holding for the 15K Bitcoin. That's when I plan on throwing all my money and stock into coins like Solana and getting away from, really, I probably won't be in the QQQ that much anymore. I'd be in crypto because at that point the dollar would be high and it'd be about the retrace. I'd start looking at my speculative stocks like Astra. as they go and venture out into distant territories in outer space, Um, I'd be looking at my Nvidias as, that'd be the bottom of crypto. Nvidia would, have, see, I mean, look at this. You can't make this up. I'm seeing crossovers, and we're hovering above supports that need to be hit that you don't want to be broken, because it'll get us in some bearish territory. I don't see anything bullish about these markets except for the fact that the dollar had a little pullback, but it could easily just rally after this 1 day pullback. Where do you see what right here is not since March of March. Yeah, that's March of this year. Yeah, but you don't have many. I guess you could go back here and find consecutive red days on the dollar. Um, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I don't want to get on and ramble. I don't know how I'm 20 minutes into this video. I'm not really sure if I said anything of substance. I'm still trying to grow this channel. I'd appreciate anybody watching if they have found this useful to like and subscribe. What else can I talk about? Maybe trading strategies, like maybe so you don't have these trend lines. Just what other techniques could you use to base off, to make trades based off of? Um, for that, I would make another video. Maybe I should make another video for that. I don't like I say I don't want this to be too long to where those that watch it don't want to sit through the whole thing, because individually it's not all that much, but together it sums up a good synopsis of where the markets are going. I've said it on a Sunday. You have, Monday through Friday to watch the price action in the markets. And, so far I'm what, two out of two on the calls, like of what I've said on Sunday and what price action you've seen by Friday going into this week. So just to wrap it up, and this one is a bit. This is more of a gamble to say than anything, considering where the dollar is. But I expect, this dollar to go ahead and put in strong, massive rallies. Even on the 5 minute, we're regaining that strength. Massive gains on the 5 minute, on the dollar, but overall for the week, I expect us to, at least reclaim this upwards parabola right here, be massively above our old highs that we just put in, going up here towards this 106. I expect NASDAQ to start making this gain, is headway down towards the 11K area, you know. Breaking first is 12K. That's some support right there that goes back. I expect that to take that out by Monday, Tuesday afternoon. We should be below this 12K of what I feel is right. And by Friday, ooh, I hope we not. I mean, that is massive. 11K was my target for a bounce, but these are old lines I have drawn on here, and like shit, it's calling for 5K. You know, but regardless, I expect the Nasdaq to be substantially lower by Friday's close than it is by right now, which is at 12.8. Um, on its way to 8K. Honestly, at least 11. Going into Friday, no later than the week after. 11 should be a dream. Bitcoin, it's green right now. It looks good, right? Your bitcoins are gonna be worth. Let's get rid of these trend lines because they mean something to me, but just talking through this video, not so much. Um, yeah, this right here, I expect some massive breakdowns in your Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin's going to 15K. It's just how I see it. I'm seeing massive. Like when that blue over red, that's a massive sign. I mean, you're talking 27 instantly, probably in the next 24 hours. You'll start seeing price action like this as it just cascades down, right? Like we're like in an area like this. Um, these are 6 hour candles, so yeah, going into Friday, at least 27K. We will have seen 27K Bitcoin, euro, selling off nicely. You know, Hey, let's go ahead and at least test these old lows. Start trying to make some new lows. Do I got trend lines on this? That's a few. It's in a little parabolic down move right there. Just basically, this is it's gonna be a nice sell off we're going into. If you want to talk individual stocks, that nice gap. I don't think that gap is gonna get filled, but if it does, it'll happen on the back of the dollar selling off. All gaps get filled, but just not right now. I feel like, n- Amazon is headed to 19K, 1900. Um, these are just the little targets, and I need to go ahead and work on this website so that I could put this stuff in writing and have a track record. And it's not about being right or wrong, but what it is about developing a discipline, developing your own strategy, even if it's not mine with these colorful lines looking like rainbows. Because believe me, we could get into some charts where I got my old techniques, and you'll be like, there's no way I'm finna trade based on. But even stuff like this will show you the increase and decrease in momentum. I have area, this was my first, so I've developed many different strategies that all hone together to give you a snapshot of what's going on. And so it's not just one way of trading, it's many ways that add together to just tell you, uh, areas where the market is pretty much going to gravitate to during sell-offs and during periods of increase. So and I keep saying we'll get into that, and there will come a time. It's not quite yet. Right now, I'm just getting my feet wet with producing content. Uh, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this video to an end. I feel like we've covered a little bit. Trade well, trade smart, trade on.